when we close our mind to what is possible for us or what is possible for humanity, closes off the genius that resides and lives in each and every one of us. Having an open mind, it means opening yourself up to the potentiality and the possibility that anything and everything is possible.
There's a wonderful Zen saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And the teacher can be in any form. The teacher can be another human being. It can be a book. It can be a tape like this. It can be anything at all that might show up in your life. But if you're not ready, if you're still stuck, if you're still afraid to try new things and move into new territory, then then it'll go right past you. I know so many things in my life that showed up in my 20s and my 30s that I wasn't ready for. And they were right there, books that I had on my shelf and I've had there for 20 years and I never even picked them up. And I picked them up and I said, wow, this is fantastic. I didn't know this guy knew that. And it's a book that's 6,000 years old. It's been there, but I wasn't ready. So you have to develop a readiness. And what you have to do is learn how to get rid of the prejudices in your life. And the word prejudice means to prejudge. And I'm not talking just about what we think of as the typical prejudices, which are racial prejudices and things like that. But I'm talking about the willingness to prejudge life, to tell yourself that this is something that I wouldn't enjoy. This is something I couldn't do. This is an activity that just wouldn't work for me. And then it keeps you from trying all of these new and delicious and exciting new things. What I'm really advocating here is an openness to new experience.
Do you know that most people that I meet spend their lives looking for occasions to be offended? They actually are out there hoping that they can find some reason to be offended. And there's no shortage of reasons. They're out there everywhere. The way this person dressed, what this person said, they turn on their TV, they hear the news, they're offended by this, someone used language that they didn't like, someone doesn't share the same customs that you, and people all day long. In fact, if you keep track tomorrow, you will find probably 100 reasons that you can go around being offended. But a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing is a mind that says, I'm never looking for anything to be offended by. And that whatever anybody else out there has to say, my response to that is, that's an interesting point of view. I've never considered that before.
There's a wonderful poem by James Kavanaugh, who's a dear, dear friend of mine, one of the finest poets in the country. It's called Someday. And he says, someday I'll walk away and be free and leave the sterile ones their secure sterility. I'll leave without a forwarding address and walk across some barren wilderness to drop the world there, then wander free of care like an unemployed atlas. It's a nice image, isn't it? Just to be able to wander. I remember reading one of my favorite books ever by one of my favorite authors, John Steinbeck. And in his mid-60s, he took off across the country with a dog named Charlie. And he wrote a book about it called Travels with Charlie. Just him and his dog. And he just took off and went through all the different byways and the little highways of America and wrote his observations on what he was seeing. And almost everyone I ever share that story with or have them read Travels with Charlie, they always come back and say, I'd like to do that. That's really exciting. Yet so many people don't do that. They get hung up on their secure sterility, or they have this whole notion of perfectionism. And Churchill had a wonderful quotation. He said, the maxim that nothing avails but perfection may be spelled paralysis. Because if you believe that things have to be perfect and you have to do things in a certain way and you can't do them any other way, then you become paralyzed. If you believe in imperfection and that it can never be perfect, then you're going to be paralyzed all your life. You want to transcend that. You want to go past that need for perfection and just live.
Progress is impossible if you always do things the way you've always done things. But the other word in this, what Talopa said, is be attached nowhere. Be attached nowhere. Attachment really means I am deluding myself into a belief that if I can't have or if I can't do, this or that thing, then somehow I am going to become immobilized. So an open mind that is detached.